Hi, I'm Jason and I'm a wildlife photography hobbyist. I've been enjoying this amazing hobby now for nearly 5 years. Nothing beats getting outside into nature after the stresses of the work week and other things that impact our mental states. Being out in nature, surrounded by its beauty, the peace and tranquility is my own therapy, my nature therapy. I decided to attempt to document my visits throughout the year at my favourite location, Back Bay National Wildlife Refuge in Sandbridge, Virginia Beach. This would allow us to view the refuge throughout the change of seasons and how it impacts the wildlife that call it home. If that sounds of interest to you, please consider subscribing to the channel. Feel free to drop me a comment with any questions you may have or let me know about your own visits to the refuge. And if you enjoyed the videos, please give them a like to help the YouTube algorithm push the channel out further. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I hope you enjoy the video. There's a cool start to the morning. Great blue heron sitting up on the sign. It's like he's welcoming me. Come this way, sir. Let's see what we can find. Well, good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Now, if you're a subscriber, massive thanks for your support. Really appreciate it. And if you're new to the channel and this is your first video, then thanks very much for clicking on it and checking us out. Hope you find something of interest in the content. Now, today I'm at Back Bay National Wildlife Refuge in Sandbridge, Virginia Beach. It's a very humid morning, as it has been for the last week or two. Now I'm heading down the dune trail at the moment because there's been sightings of a reddish egret down on the beach. Now that's not a common bird to be seen here at the refuge. They're more commonly seen in the Gulf Coast of the United States, especially in the Texas area. So to have one here at the moment is very special. I've been checking the reports on eBird, and the timings from the information that's up there have been anywhere from about 5:30 in the morning up until about 6 p.m. in the evening. So with a bit of luck, we may have an encounter. And if not, I gave it a go. It's just nice to be out here. Just walking up to the top of the dune trail now. Stunning scenery. So I'm going to head down onto the beach. And with a bit of luck, we may see it. If not, I'm here for the rest of the morning, so we can always come back and try again. So anyway, let's make it down onto the beach. Now it's about 6:30 in the morning. So the sun's coming up over there in the horizon. I'm just walking through the dunes now. You may hear my breathing get a little heavy. This old man trying to make his way through the sand and the dunes. Anyway, I'll meet you up on the other side. Okay, well, I've just made it over the dunes. Just heading down onto the beach. Now, I don't know exactly where the bird's been sighted, so I'm just going to come down here and have a look around. I'm seeing plenty of other birds. No sign of the reddish egret yet, but we've got plenty of time. That heat's starting to build up now, so that humidity is pretty bad. Now, as I'm heading my way down the beach, to give you a quick look around, got some stunning scenery to be looking at while we're walking. And say walking down the beach in the sand with all this heavy weight on my shoulder, not too much fun, but things you have to do. So I'll just walk down here a bit. There's a few people down here. I don't know if it's because of the egret, but I'll head my way there and see what's going on. It may just be fishermen. We'll find out as we walk a bit further down. Now, as I'm walking down, there's plenty of Atlantic ghost crab burrows. I've seen a few scurry into them as I'm walking through. They're all over the place down here. You can just see where they've been digging down in the holes, turfing out the sand. All the way down here. They're amazing little guys. Colourful little crabs. There's a brown pelican flying over the sea there. Just coming into view under the sunrise. So peaceful out here. I love it. All right, well, I walked about a mile or so down the beach from the dune trail. Didn't see any sign of the Reddish Egret, unfortunately. So I'm going to head down towards the West Dike Trail because that's now open. The Refuge closed the East Dike Trail. And so we're going to head that way now. See if we can see anything down there. Maybe we didn't get to see the Reddish Egret yet. We may not see it at all, but that's the way it goes. I mean, just walking down the beach in the early hours of the morning, and I can see dolphins breaching down in the surf. That's pretty amazing. I'm going to see if I can get a bit of footage. Well, I attempted to try and get some footage of the dolphins. I know I did catch them in the frame, but I don't know if it's actually in focus. My videography skills really ain't up there at the moment. I gave it a go. Hopefully there might be a few frames there that might be worth picking out. Anyway, I'm going to head back down the dune trail, huff and puff my way back through the sand, back up into the refuge. It's starting to look a bit overcast, so hopefully we're not going to get a storm. What a fantastic way to start the morning. We had a beautiful sunrise, had a walk down on the beach. Unfortunately didn't see the reddish, but not to worry. I was in two minds as to whether to come here this morning, but you know, the reports of the humidity and the heat down here, I was like, do I want to go through all that? But on the off chance we may get to see the Reddish Egret, it got me out of bed this morning. Came down to the refuge. Didn't see it the first time down onto the beach, but we'll come down here again a bit later on. We may get lucky, and if not, not to worry. It's just fantastic to be out here this morning. Like I say, stunning scenery. The songs of the birds all around you, crashing of the waves against the ocean shore. It definitely beats laying in bed. So I'm going to have a sip of my water and then make my way around the refuge, head towards the West Dike Trail, see if there's anything going on. Ah, lovely. Anyway, let's go. Well, that's made a nice difference. Took a rest for about 10 minutes, took in some water. I'm not breathing so heavily now. I'm sure that sounds a lot better to you guys. Anyway, I'm heading down the boardwalk of the dune trail. Going to go down into the refuge and see if there's anything around. Now, it's not unusual to get visitors here at the refuge that you don't normally see. Remember a few years ago, there were some roseate spoonbills that turned up here. Now, I came here about 6 or 7 times before I finally saw them, so wasn't too disappointed this morning to not see the Reddish Egret. You know, that's the way it happens sometimes. You're not guaranteed to see things. You might get lucky sometimes. I can see a great blue heron over here, so try and get a few shots and a bit of footage. Well, there's the great blue heron down there. That's the one I was just filming, taking a few photos of. He's not bothered by me at all. He's probably used to people coming up and down the trail. So I'm going to head on down towards the West Dike Trail now. Go for the first walk down there of the year. And so they opened it up at the beginning of July. It's now mid-July. So see you later, Mr. Heron. Thank you for the photo opportunities. Much appreciated. Hope you catch yourself some breakfast. Catch you later. I'll tell you what, it's a lot easier walking down the gravel trail than it is across all that sand on the dunes. There's plenty of dragonflies down here. And keep an eye out for some tree frogs as well, you never know. Let's see if I can get a couple of shots of the dragonflies. Well, it's pretty overcast here at the refuge this morning, so photos have been taken. Have had quite high ISO. It's not too bad, not too much of a problem. Managed to get a few dragonfly shots here along the reeds. Blue dashers, Needham skimmer. And as I was walking up and down the side of the reeds, a ranger's truck came through and stopped. Asked me how I was doing, what I was looking for. We had a little chat, talking about the Reddish Egret. They'd heard about the sightings as well. And in the back of the truck, there was a couple of other guys, and they're on their way down to the impoundments down on the West Dike Trail. They're going to be doing some bird surveys, trying to see what's around. And they said perhaps they may see it down there. It could end up anywhere on the refuge, really. Most sightings have been down on the beach, but I guess there's always a chance it could come in elsewhere. Never know, might get lucky. So anyway, I'm going to head down towards the West Dike Trail now. Hopefully this overcast weather doesn't get any worse. I don't fancy getting caught out in the middle of nowhere in a storm. So we'll just carry on walking through, see how it goes. Okay, well this is our first journey down the West Dike Trail for this year. It's been a while since I've been down this way. It's actually my favourite side of the refuge. The habitat down here gives far more opportunity to see things. Possibly get some photos on the east side. I mean, they both have their merits, don't get me wrong, but out of the two, this is the one I prefer. Now this goes down for a few miles, down towards Force Cape State Park. And this is the main track down for the trucks and vehicles between the two areas. So you do get a lot of them coming down here. As you can see, beautiful views all around. Sky's clearing up a bit as well, which is a good sign. So as I walk down here, I'm going to give you a few views of what it looks like, because like some areas open out a lot, especially across the water. Give you opportunity to see plenty of things. In the past, I've seen northern river otters down here. I had the opportunity one day to follow a pair of them all the way down the waterway. They were catching fish, having them for breakfast, pulling up on the side of the water, having a rest. And over here in the distance, look like there's an osprey's nest on one of the nesting stations. So I'm going to try and get a bit of footage, a bit of a distance, but let's see if I can get a bit of it. Now, with the way the humidity is today, I'm having a few issues with the glass steaming up on my phone. So far, I haven't had any issues on the main camera. Fingers crossed it stays that way. That can be a bit of a nightmare. You go to take a shot or shoot some footage, and it's all fogged out. So I'll just keep an eye on that. So we just got a bit of footage of the ospreys. They're over there on the nesting station. Great to see those guys over there, the adults and their little ones. So I'm going to carry on walking down the West Dike Trail, see what's around, and hopefully we don't steam up too much. Now you can see how different the habitat is here down the west side. You've got all the waterways, you've got lilies growing on the surface, and say the waterways open up all the way down the side of the trail, down towards the impoundments down at the other end that are man-made, made specifically for the migrating birds to stay here in the winter. And that's the reason why the refuge closes these two trails, give the birds some privacy to get on with their business without being disturbed. Hats off to the refuge for providing that for them. So I'm just making my way down here to the first corner on the trail. And I can see since I was last down here, they've done quite a lot of maintenance with the way the banks are set out. Last time I come down here, all these stones weren't here. So that makes for a much more stable bank along the trail. Looks good as well. Makes it a bit easier as well to get some shots at times. Oh, I love this. I've never seen this before. This is a great addition to the refuge. Yeah, I'm liking this. It's nice and open now. Like I say, before all along here was like really thick reed beds and grasses. It obstructed your view to quite a few things when they're in the water. Especially things like the river otters swimming up and down. So as you can see, as we come round the corner, this opens out. Nice wide area of water. On a different day, you may be seeing much more down here. It just gives you an idea of the layout of the trail. Oh, just had a big fish just surfaced there. Another one there. Anyway, let's carry on down. Another rare visitor that's turned up at the refuge in recent years was a purple Gallinule, which arrived in the spring last year. The reed beds along West Dike Trail were its choice of location to hang out. This bird has amazing iridescent colours, but unfortunately it was 11:30 in the morning when I saw it, and the sun was glaring down, and the harsh light and shadows made it a bit challenging to get good shots. Even so, I was well happy to get this opportunity to experience the encounter. As I'm walking my way down here, you can see that the area has been cleared as well. I guess there's a good chance they might be doing the rocks all the way down here too. There's a few people up ahead doing some maintenance. You can hear the weed whackers going off as they're clearing down towards the water's edge. Now this area along here, you can see the marshland opens up. Big expanse of land and water. And this is an area where a few years ago there was another rare visitor to the area, the Roseate Spoonbills. I mentioned them earlier on the way to the beach to try and see the Reddish Egret. Didn't get lucky then, but after a number of attempts a few years ago to find the Spoonbills, it was in this area here. As the water opens up, but I got to spend a couple of hours one evening getting some amazing photos of the Roseate Spoonbill, along with a few other birds along the way. And that was one of those lucky times when a rare visitor visits the refuge and you get the opportunity to photograph it. Like I say, took a few attempts of coming here before I finally saw it, but in the end it was well worth it. Yep, we're just along here. Things look a bit different now. They've changed over the few years since it happened. It's an amazing area. So I'll show you some of those photos now. Now walking further down the West Dike Trail, we've got waterways on both sides of the trail itself, here on the left and over to the right. There's another nesting station over there. Looks like there might be something on it too, so let's get that camera zoomed in, see if we can get a bit of footage. I've seen a few things down here on the West Dike Trail this morning. There's been a few egrets around. Saw a couple of Osprey nest stations occupied as well, which is awesome to see. Not too much else going on down here at the moment. I say there's some maintenance going on further down towards the Forest Cape State Park area. So I'm not going to walk down there this morning. Now as I'm walking down the trail, I'm thinking to myself how lucky I am to be able to look around and take it all in as well as I can. The reason for that was towards the end of last year, I had to go in for a bit of an emergency. I'd noticed a couple of floaters in my left eye. Didn't think anything of it at the time. But progressively throughout the day, it just got worse and worse until there was so many of them. I was a bit worried. Went to bed that night, woke up the next morning, and my vision was all greyed out, like I was looking through a grey curtain or something like that. So managed to get an emergency appointment, and that resulted in finding out that I had a torn retina. No kind of build up to it, it just suddenly happened. And fortunately I was able to get in and have treatment for it. The doctor used a laser to seal the hole. I actually had to do it twice because the first time didn't quite seal it up. Reason being there was a lot of blood in my eye, and that was stopping the laser from doing its job. So thankfully after the second time it fixed itself, and it's been about 8 months now since that happened, and my vision doesn't seem to have been impacted. So thankful for that. You know, when you're someone that comes out here taking photographs of nature and wildlife, the last thing you want is the vision in one of your eyes to go. So just a little warning, guys. If you suddenly notice some floaters appearing in your vision, some that aren't normally there, just go and get them checked out. Don't leave it, and hopefully you'll be okay. But yeah, don't put it off. Go and get it looked at straight away, just to be on the safe side. It may not be anything, but I was thinking it wasn't anything for me when it happened, so I'm just thankful that I got in to be seen. And things have been great ever since. I guess that's one of the problems of getting old. Now I'm just coming up towards the gate of the West Dike Trail. So I'm going to head off here, walk down to my favourite place to stop and have a little snack and drink. And then we'll make our way back over to the dune trail again, back onto the beach. The quest for the Reddish Egret continues. All right, well, I've made it to my little area to sit down for 10 minutes, charge up the phone so I can carry on recording footage. And the dune trail is just over there. So we'll head that way again soon. All right, guys, well, it's time for the second trek down to the beach, down the dune trail. See if we can spot this Reddish Egret. Fingers crossed. Let's see how it goes. All right, I'm back on the overlook of the dune trail. It's time to huff and puff my way again over there. Go down between the dunes and onto the beach. I'm not recording that again. Too embarrassing. Huffing and puffing old man. Anyway, let's make it over there and I'll see you on the other side. Oh well guys, struck out again unfortunately. And to be honest with you, I don't know if I'm in exactly the right place to see it anyway. So, I mean obviously it can move around, but most people see it in a certain area. There's a good chance it's further down towards Force Cape. I'm not too sure. I'll have to investigate it a bit more, see what I can find out. I mean by then it may have moved on anyway, but oh well. There you go guys, that just shows the reality of wildlife photography. You know, wildlife's unpredictable. You can never tell if it's going to be in the same place again. So, I'm not too disappointed. Well, I'm a little bit. You know, that's the way it goes. Could well be it shows up again later today. Could be down on the beach all day tomorrow. Who knows? Gave it a shot. Didn't quite work out, but oh well. I'm just going to walk down off the trail. Walk down towards Raptor Trail. It's about 10:30 in the morning now. We'll see how it goes down Raptor Trail. Might make my way back here again one more time before I leave. Then again, it didn't really seem to be any sight of it. Don't be too discouraged if you don't see things that you want to see all the time. It really is down to right place, right time. Or just being lucky, really. So like I say, don't be too disappointed if you set yourself goals and you don't come off with them all the time. Another time it will come off for you. Just enjoy being out there. Anyway, let's carry on walking. There's a nice little find, guys. It's a garden spider, writing spider, and a few other names it goes by. Just hanging out there on its web. Now I found these guys absolutely fascinating when I first moved here. Never seen such a colourful spider before outside of a pet shop. And you can see down below it why it gets called the writing spider. Really cool. Anyway, I'm just at the beginning of Raptor Trail. So I'm going to walk down a little bit, see what we can find. Well, this is something I've never seen before. I'm not too sure what's going on here. They both look dead to me. It looks like a couple of those writing spiders, garden spiders, or whatever you want to call them. The one above it seems like it's been dead for a while. The other one seems to be joined to it by some thread. No idea what's going on here. There's another one of the spiders there. And there's also another one just there as well. I say July and August time is prime time for them being out here. I've seen probably a dozen of them walking down Raptor Trail. Just had a couple of people ask me if I knew what they were. They took a couple of photos after jumping back in fright. Just explained, like I said before, they go by a number of different names. Garden spider, writing spider, a lot of other names. Writing spider is the main one I tend to call them by. There you go. Another one there. They're just everywhere down here. All right then guys, that wraps it up for this one. Wasn't much down Raptor Trail apart from the spiders. Didn't even see any cottonmouths, which was unusual. Anyway, started off the day looking for the Reddish Egret. Unfortunately, it wasn't around. Like I said, I could have been in the wrong place anyway. I gave it a go. Gave it 2 goes actually. Neither one worked out, but that's the way it goes. You can't guarantee to see something just because someone else spotted it in a different area. That's the unpredictability of wildlife and wildlife photography. You're not always going to get the perfect shot, but you just come out here and enjoy yourself, being surrounded in peace, tranquility and nature. And that's what makes the day, even though it's a bit sweaty. If you're a subscriber, I greatly appreciate it. If you're new to the channel and you enjoy the video, please give it a like, possibly think about subscribing. And I will see you guys in the next one. You take care. All the best.